Hey, what's up, everybody, and welcome to the Shirt School Live Show. This is the weekly live show where we review stores, we give you honest feedback, honest advice. If you're new here, thank you so much for tuning in. My name's Kerry Egler. I'm the founder of Shirt School, and I'm so excited for today's show. We were off last week, and now we're back. So please let me know in the comments if you're watching. Say hello and where you're watching from. I see Quiet Pirate, my friend, is on, says missed this last week. I did too, but I was having a ton of fun last week, so I didn't really miss you that much. I'm gonna be honest. But Quiet Pirate says, glad you're back. I see High Jumping for Joy. Happy Friday, Carrie from Terrell in sunny California. What's up from Oklahoma, Terrell? Glad to have you here. I see quite a few more people are watching. Let me know in the comments where you're watching from and say hello. There we go. Got some more people jumping in there. Paula says, haven't joined a call in a hot minute. From North Carolina. Paula, good to have you here today. Hope that you're doing well. Mr. J. Cad, what is up from Florida? Just in Florida. Brian, my guy Brian, says, how was FHL? Talk about that in just a minute, Brian, but good to see you today. That's where I was at, Funnel Hacking Live down in Orlando this year. We got somebody watching from Philadelphia. Good to have you here. And Find Your Light. Hello, Amanda from Iowa. Good to see you, Amanda. Glad you are here. Again, if you're watching, say what's up in the comments. If you're watching this on the replay, drop a comment. Let us know where you're watching from. We're glad that you're here. If this is your first time here on the Shirt School Live Show with us, thank you so much for being here. It's so cool to have you here with us, watching, hanging out, and hopefully you learned something. I think that you will. We have a lot of fun here every Friday at 2 p.m. Central Time. I see some more people. I'm just going to say hi real quick. What's up, Stephanie? What's up, Variety of Ree? Good to have you here from Texas. Steve, good to have you from Cajun Country. I love it. All right, guys. Well, let's jump into the show today. I've got a little bit to talk to you about before, and then we've got three really good stores today. Three really great stores. I think you're going to get a lot out of it today. Again, as we normally do, kind of the normal format here, just so you're aware if you're new here and you haven't been a part of one of these calls or these live streams before, what we normally do is we review two stores that have been submitted by you guys, two of your stores. I have this gigantic list in my Trello board that I just am kind of going down and reviewing stores. And then we review one store that's more of a successful store so that you can learn some stuff from a successful store. So it's a good mix. You can see what's working, you can see maybe what's not working, or how to tweak your store and make some changes. And it's always a good time. So I want to start off today by just talking to you a little bit about my week. I was down in Orlando, Florida last week for Funnel Hacking Live, big old online marketing conference. A lot of really successful people spoke and learned a lot. And one of the things that was really cool this year, as opposed to, so last year it was right before the pandemic. It was January of 2020. It was in Nashville. Went last year, and last year was a lot of learning so much, soaking it up. This year was more about connection for me. It was more networking, more meeting people. I even got to meet a few of you guys at Funnel Hacking Live, a few of our students, and that was incredible to do that. And also got to hang out with people that I only know online and got to see them in person. It's quite the unique experience when you've only seen somebody on the internet and then you get to meet them in person. The biggest thing that's weird, if you guys were wondering, is some people are taller or shorter than you imagined them. So that it's just a funny thing. Like, you guys think I'm like however tall you think I am, but then you might meet me in person and who knows, maybe I'm like 7 feet tall, or maybe I'm like 4 feet tall. You don't know, because you can't tell on the internet. That's what's so weird. I'm like 5'10". I'm just like an average guy. But I met some people this week that I only see on the internet, and they're like gigantic. And I was like, wow, this is weird. Dodd's here. I met Dodd last week. What's up, Dodd? Good to have you on. That was really cool. So anyways, Funnel Hacking Live was amazing. It was just so cool being in person with people and learning and connecting. And I had a really good time, learned a ton, met a lot of people. And so we did not have Shirt School Live last week, but we're back. And I'm excited to be here. So, and today I get to share a little bit of some good stuff from last week. And that's going to be during the Words of Wisdom time. And I'll probably add a few things, but I'm excited to dive into these stores today. So are you guys ready to dive into stores? Let me know if you're ready in the comments, in the chat, and we'll jump into some stores today. Everybody ready? Everybody feeling good? All right. I know it takes a second to get some comments in there. If you guys are ready, I'm ready. Let's go ahead and do it. All right, Mr. J. Cat said, what's FHL? It's Funnel Hacking Live, a big old online marketing conference. It's 4 days long. There's 3,000 or 4,000 people there in person, a ton of more people watching online, and it was a lot of fun. David says, first time watching, watch a ton of videos, but use Squarespace. Good to have you here, David. All right, let's do this. Let's jump into some stores. All right, our first store today is You're So Crazy. I guess it's yoursocrazy.com. One of our Shirt School family here. And so this is a cool website. So yoursocrazy.com. They spelled so like sewing. Let's see what we got here. Now, I looked at this store a little bit before I started the live stream. I noticed here we had, I think, a little bit of a typo. It says a forward-looking apparel company with motiving designs. I think we got a little bit of a typo there. So I was looking at, so let's just kind of scroll through here and see what we see. We see a couple testimonials. I love seeing that. Taking a look at the color scheme right off the bat. I think the color scheme could use a little bit of work. I'm not sure it's almost like some kind of purple here or kind of a gray, but maybe with a little hint of purple. I think if it were me, I would change that color scheme. You've got red and black here, so let's keep the whole thing red and black. You've also got this, this photo with the black background, which looks great. So keeping with just red and black, I think would help it a little bit. I also think the fonts are just a little maybe too old school, a little too basic. So we can maybe spice up the fonts a little bit. But the big thing that I want to talk about here is really something that we always talk about is the niche. Kind of who are these t-shirts for? What niche are they in? And as we go here on the front page, I'll be honest, I don't really know on the front page who this is for or what niche it is. It says right here, represents the crazy mindsets to go above and beyond to reach our goals, forward-looking apparel company with motivating designs, promote self-love, self-worth, self-values. You guys know how I kind of feel about this kind of niche. It's not very defined, and it's very general. It's pretty broad, and it's going to be really hard to sell when we have kind of this broad mission statement here. So right off the bat, I don't love the niche just looking at the front page because it's just not defined enough. It's going to kind of blend in with thousands and thousands, maybe millions of other brands here, and it's going to be really hard to stand out. As we go into the products, I notice a lot of things here. So number one, the thing that stands out the most, everything is really small, and these photos need to be a little bit more cohesive. So we've got all different crops of squares and rectangles and tall. We need to get them all cohesive, and I would probably cut down on the number of products that we have on each line to make those a little bit bigger in the Shopify store. So you guys, this is a really big thing when you're building your stores. Make sure that all of your photos are cropped the same way. I prefer to do them all as a square. It makes this look a lot more professional, a lot more easy to digest. And so that's a big thing here on the product page. We need to get some cohesive photos because we've got some photos of people wearing the items. We've got some just standard mock-ups. We've got some of these kind of place it mock-ups that look different from the other mock-ups. And then we've got these pictures with different colors. So we've got a lot going on here on the just the product page. And I will say this, guys, one thing that's going to be a theme throughout today's store is simplicity. Okay, I was thinking about this before. I was looking at the stores. I was thinking about what the words of wisdom is going to be today. Stay tuned for that because it's going to be a really good one today. And I really have been thinking a lot about complexity versus simplicity. And simple is always better. Okay. A confused mind always says no. So if we can simplify things, we're going to get more yeses. If we can make things easier to navigate, easier to digest, if we can make it easier on our brain to really figure out what's going on here, it's gonna be a lot more effective, and we're gonna get a lot more yeses. So even going back to the niche, right? We always talk about having that clearly defined niche. We go back to the niche of this store, and the niche is not really clearly defined. And so even just simplifying our niche is going to increase sales, increase conversions, because because it's all about simplicity, right? Making it easy to understand, easy to digest, easy to know who it's for. Complexity almost always is the wrong decision, okay? So let's take a look at the product page here and see what we've got going on the product page. So we're looking at a queen t-shirt. There is a lot to talk about here on the product page, and I'm going to kind of rapid fire through what we've got here. One thing I like, we've got some people wearing the t-shirt, so that's always good to have in addition to kind of a standard mock-up. Not a huge fan of the photos here, but I think they're okay. Right here, we've got the standard kind of, probably looks like print on demand kind of product description. We obviously want to write a new product description. We want our product description to really speak to the customer, speak to what this design means to the customer. So we need a lot of help here. It's also the color. I know it's a basic color scheme, but the colors here are not really working because I think what we've got here with this text is we've got kind of a gray as opposed to a black. And we've got a background here that's also kind of like a light gray, almost white, but not quite. So guys, I always recommend just having a white background. Okay, white backgrounds are proven to convert. Actually, I think this is white. I think I just have my screen brightness down. My apologies, but it might be a little bit off white. But I always recommend a white background. White backgrounds are proven to convert the best, and they're the easiest on the eyes. When you have colored backgrounds, it's really hard on the eyes, and it kind of just takes away from the whole experience, makes it a little bit more difficult to see and really comprehend. So I think the biggest thing here, I would just black out this text, maybe make it a little bit bigger, but we need to write a real product description here that really speaks to that, to the designs, that speaks to what this design would mean to the customer. And we need to get rid of a lot of these features here and turn those into benefits and get rid of the ones that we don't need. And we could add a lot of things to this, right? We could add something about the shipping, about the shipping time, the price of shipping, where the item was manufactured or printed. Lots of things that we could add here that would probably help us. But right now we've just got the generic product description there. Another thing I don't see, social proof, right? Social proof, so important. We don't have any reviews. We don't have any proof that people are looking at these items or consuming them or buying them. So that's going to take away from the possibility of getting sales because people want to buy what people are buying. Like, I want to buy what somebody else is buying. I don't want to buy things that other people are not buying or at least are not interacting with. So a lot of things going on here on the product page. The last thing I'm going to say that I noticed that I do want to point out is one thing I've been seeing a lot lately that I've also been talking about. In your mock-ups, guys, when you have these mock-ups, you always want to make sure that in the mock-up that you can clearly see the design and you can read the design, okay? So these mock-ups here, now this one I can read, but anytime there is space, which I keep hovering over it and it keeps zooming, but anytime there's this space around the mock-up where you could potentially zoom in, go ahead and crop it in a little bit closer so that you can read that t-shirt very, very easily without having to strain your eyes or lean into the computer screen like this. Get those mock-ups up front and center, crop them in, and that will help. The last thing I want to say here, we always talk about niche and an ideal customer, right? You have to know what niche you want your designs and your products to be a part of, and you have to know who you want to sell those to. You want to be specific. Now, when I go to the product page, what I see here a lot is I see a lot of things that really matter to the African-American community, and I see a lot of African-American people here. And that's great. That's great because this person has kind of clearly defined who their customer is, right? They're speaking to the African-American community. But where that kind of gets confusing is when I click on that t-shirt and then I see people that don't match those kinds of people on the product page, right? I see this kind of image or this kind of image. So the more we can kind of narrow down, again, who we're speaking to, the more that our message is going to resonate. Because and I want to make this, hopefully you're not taking this the wrong way in any way, because it's always kind of odd when I speak about, different races and that kind of thing. But this person here that is on this picture likely isn't as passionate about some of these things that are on these t-shirts as the African-American community is. and these designs likely won't speak to that person. So if we're marketing to that person, it's probably not going to work. And it also goes the other way as well. If we're marketing to the African American community and they come here and see this person on the product page, there's probably going to be a disconnect for them. So my advice for this person about niche and ideal customer would be go all in on the African American community, be proud of that, and focus everything on your website on the African American community and that ideal customer. And as far as niche, we need to narrow in on one of these things, right? We've got so many things here. We've got Christian designs. We've got things about being a queen. Then we've got some of the things that really matter to the African American community, like Black Lives Matter and these kind of things. We need to really, really narrow this down because it's really all over the place right now. And all that does is dilute our messaging to our customers, and it causes confusion, it causes complexity, and a confused mind always says no. So we've got to simplify everything that we're doing here. And there's a lot there, right? This is a store that could definitely use a lot of updates, a lot of work. And so there are some things that are great. I think some of the designs are great. I think there's a lot of cool stuff going on here, and it's got some really, really strong bones, but it definitely needs some work. All right, let's back out a little bit. Let's take a quick breather, and we'll jump into our next store. Our next store is going to be a successful store, a store that is really doing well, and a store that I really like, and I think you guys will get a lot out of it from a niche perspective, from a design perspective, from some of the things that they're doing. I think it's going to be really great. Jeff says about the last store, he said the collections page has placeholders on it still. Yeah, so some work still needs to be done on that store. Oops, accidentally clicked that. What's up, Al? Late joiner, good to have you here. But let's jump into our second store today. We've got a really good one. I'm excited for you guys to see this second store because I think you'll learn a lot from it. But what's interesting about this second store is they're having a lot of success. They're doing really, really good stuff, but there is also still a lot that this store can improve on. And so I'm excited to just dive into that with you. So let's look at the second store, and it is TexasHumor.com. Okay. TexasHumor.com. I found this store a couple weeks ago, and I love what they're doing. And I love how they're going about it, okay? So let's just start with the name and kind of the niche here, because this one really hits the mark on some of the things that we've been talking about on this call. So we always talk about when you're picking a name that you want to pick a name that communicates what your business is right off the bat. So if you guys see TexasHumor.com and you haven't even seen this website yet, there's a good chance you're going to have a good idea what niche this is going to be in, right? It's going to be in the Texas niche, and it's probably going to be funny, right? So it's pretty quick. Now, the only thing missing is you don't really know that it's going to be like apparel and hats, and that's okay, right? It's a really good name, TexasHumor.com. It communicates what the business is right away. Now, let's go over and shop. Let's shop some of their items. Let's go over to apparel, t-shirts, and you'll see some of their designs. They've got Be a Kind Texas, Hot Like Texas, Hey Baby, Que Paso. They've got some really clever designs here, like the anti-Texas or Ain't Texas design. Everywhere in the United States, Ain't Texas, right? They've got some really cool stuff. There's one, Texcellent. This is one that they're running advertisements for that they kind of came up with, right? Some other things that I love here, they're playing off of the Friends logo here with the Texans design. They're doing lots of really clever stuff, and I think their designs are really, really great. But the biggest thing I want you guys to take from the first impressions here is how simple it is, okay? How simple it is, because we just talked about on our last store, and we just talked about, a confused mind always says no. Right here, when we come in here, the niche is very clear, right? Texas humor, super simple, right? So who is the ideal customer? Probably Texans, right? Without even reading any text on the website, I already know what this website is about, what niche it's in, and who it's speaking to, okay? And so it's just simple, right? And they're clever designs. So they've got a lot of really good stuff here. The other thing I would say about the designs, though, is they're not they're not like super complex designs. They're pretty simple, right? A lot of them are just text-based. A lot of them have the text as outline. And there are a few custom designs done. The Texas Town shirt. You see this little cartoon with the California and the Texas. There's a few custom designs on here, but a lot of them are pretty simple designs that most people could put together pretty easily. So really, really good stuff here. What I wanted to do is I also wanted to take you over to their social media. As I was looking at their social media account, I really like what they're doing. Why I like what they're doing on their social media account. Now I'm assuming they're probably doing the same thing on Instagram. So you can kind of know that this content here is also over on Instagram, but they're not just posting their products. They're posting content. They're reposting memes, funny Texas memes, okay? Pictures of dogs, things that Texans are going to care about and think are funny, they are posting, right? And then they're mixing in their products. For every product that they sell, you're seeing 2 or 3 posts that are just funny Texas posts, right? And this is really the textbook way to do your social media, okay? When you guys are doing your social media organically, what you want to do is you don't just want to sell your products. You want to have content that your people will care about in there, right? And mix that up. You want to have 2 or 3 pieces of good, valuable content for every one post that you sell. I mean, look at some of the engagement they've got. 542 comments, 1.7 thousand shares. They're doing a really good job. Now, they have a really big page here, and they've done a lot of work to get that built up. But just seeing that kind of engagement on a Facebook page is very rare, even when you have a lot of people following you. So this is kind of textbook on how you should do your social media, and you can learn a lot from just looking at this Texas Humor page on how you should do your social media. And remember, it's okay to model other websites, right? Like, this is a great template for you to model a lot of things that they're doing, and it will work for you as well. Likely that it will work for you because it's working for them. The last thing I want to show you is their Facebook ads. Most of you guys have seen the Facebook ad library, but if you haven't, you can go out to any page on Facebook, okay? Scroll down, click on the page transparency section, click on see all, and click, and it'll tell you right here if the page is running advertisements or not on Facebook and Instagram. And if they are running ads, you can click go to ad library, this button right here. And guess what? You can spy on all their ads and you can see kind of what they're doing. So a couple things that I want to point out here on their ads. Excuse me, a little bit in my throat there. A couple things I want to point out on their ads that are working for them that we're also seeing that are working really well here at Shirt School. Number one, bundles and offers. Look at this first ad right here. It is a video ad. Video ads are working well as well. So if you're doing ads, consider doing some video ads. Let's play it. There's no sound on it, but they've got, so nothing is copywritten or trademarked here, but they've got different colors of, I assume, Texas football teams or Texas colleges. And what they're doing is they're bundling together a beer sleeve or a can sleeve with a hat. Okay. If we click on see ad details, we can click over to the page, and they're doing these bundles. Okay. Now, right now on Facebook and Instagram ads, bundles and offers are working a lot better than just selling one product. Okay. Higher profit margins. You get more people clicking. You get more people adding to cart. So consider bundling, putting together products, making a special offer, and that's what they're doing here. And they're also capitalizing on the time of year that it is, where college football is really, really popular right now, right in the fall. So bundles is really great. They're doing some cool stuff there with bundles. Another thing I wanted to point out is their Texcellent shirt, right? They're doing the Texcellent shirt. If we click on that and we look at their product page, they're doing a really great job on optimizing their product pages for the products that they're running ads to. Okay. Now, let me take a second here and talk about optimizing your product pages. As you guys may or may not know, we just released a couple weeks ago a new program called Add to Cart Blueprint. It's only $37. $37. I'm gonna throw it up on screen real quick. That button. Oh, I can't do it right now. Add to Cart Blueprint. It's $37, and it teaches you all 4 elements that you need to optimize your product pages to get high conversions, high sales, more people clicking the add to cart button. Now, Texas Humor is doing a really good job with their product pages here, but here's the key, guys. You don't have to optimize every single product page. You want to start with the product pages that you are going to run ads to, okay? Let me say that again. If you're going to run ads to a product, make sure that product page is optimized for conversions for add to carts. I noticed on the Texas Humor website that some of the product pages were not optimized. This product here, Be a Kind Texan, the product page is really terrible. There's no reviews. There's not a good product description. There's not very great photos. Like, it's not great. So some of their product pages are not optimized, right? But the product pages that they are running ads to, like the Texcellent shirt, it is optimized. It is optimized. It's got really great mock-ups. Remember, we talked about on the last store, we want our mock-ups to be right up close where you can see the design very clearly. And all of these mock-ups, you can see the design very clearly. Okay, so their photos are great. All right, that's number one. Number two, they've got a great product description. Can read it there. There are no words to describe something so amazing, so beautiful, so awe-inspiring that it is like Texas. Well, there weren't any words until we came up with this one, Texcellent. Okay, great product description here, right? And then look at this. We've got 26 reviews. You click on that and here their reviews pop out. Tons of social proof. Now, personally, I don't love how they're hidden. I would like them to just be shown automatically where you don't have to click that button. So I think that's something they can improve upon. But nevertheless, they've got some great social proof here and reviews on their products. So they've got a lot of really good things, really, really nice product page. So a lot of good stuff going on here. But again, remember, guys, just going back, simplicity. It's all about simplicity. We don't want to make this too complex. Just having a simple niche, very clear messaging, simple photos, right? Even down to our photos. We just want that design to be right up front, look professional, look good. It's all about simplicity, right? So that is texashumor.com. Let me know, what do you guys think about that website? And let me know in the comments, in the chat, what do you think about that website? I think it's really great. I think it's very easy to see why that store is having success. For all the reasons we just talked about, I think it's really, really great. But let me know some of your thoughts in the comments. And then we're going to jump into words of wisdom today. If anything sticks out about you, Quiet Pirate says, loved it, loved their prices. Do you know who is their print-on-demand supplier? I would imagine they're probably printing their own stuff. They're charging $30, so they could be using print-on-demand, but my guess is that they're printing their own t-shirts for this store here. All right, let's see what else we got here. I see a question from Tom. Not able to answer that question right now, Tom. Just looking for thoughts on our last store, but I'll try to, if we do any question, I'll try to get to that. But I don't know anything about the California Consumer Privacy Act. I'm sorry. Sorry about that. Dodd says simplicity matters. Nice niche. Everyone likes humor. Yeah, easy, right? Funny is always good. All right, let's move into maybe my favorite portion of the Shirt School live show, and that is words of wisdom. And the words of wisdom today is going to go right along with everything we've been talking about today. And it's just a really good one. So I heard Tony Robbins say this quote last week, and I believe it's attributed to him. I looked it up, and it seems to be something he coined. And it was really impactful to me. It's why I wanted to share it with you guys today. And it's just something I've been thinking about a lot. And the quote is, complexity is the enemy of execution. Complexity is the enemy of execution. So I've got to, I want to tell you a quick story. Last year, Tony Robbins also spoke at the event that I was at, Funnel Hacking Live, when I was there last year in January. And Tony Robbins said something that really impacted me that I believe I've shared with you guys before. But it was basically that, he said to give more value and build more value with your audience or your customers than anybody else in the industry. And that really impacted me because in the online world, especially when you're selling courses and different things like that, a lot of people don't like to give their best stuff. A lot of people don't like to pull back the curtain and give you some of their best advice. You guys are probably set on webinars and classes where it just feels like you're getting, you're just getting nothing. You're not getting any value. And so when I heard Tony say that last year, to give more value than anybody in your industry, I really took it personally. And that's why we started things like the Launch Your Brand Challenge, where I go live every day for 5 days and just teach you some of my best stuff. That's why we've started things like the Shirt School Live Show, where I just offer my advice for free every Friday. That's why we went all in on YouTube and providing valuable videos each week for you guys to watch and learn from. And so it really impacted me. So moving to this year, Tony spoke again, and this was the quote that he said that really stuck with me this year. Complexity is the enemy of execution. Now I want to talk about this for just a few more minutes. Hang with me. I know I'm rambling, but I really love this, and it's a really good quote. This goes right along with our mission statement, or our motto. I shouldn't say mission statement, but our motto here at Shirt School. Anybody know our motto here at Shirt School? What do I say all the time? What is my quote that I say all the time? I got it from Harry S. Truman. It's sitting back here. Hint, hint. Right over there. You can see it. Take imperfect action. Take imperfect action. And then Tony, it's almost like he added this to that quote, take imperfect action. Complexity is the enemy of execution. Answer me this, guys. Have you ever sat down and you sign up for a new software, maybe like Shopify or something, and you're sitting there and you just cannot figure it out? And I know I have. I'm doing that right now with some software. What happens is you end up quitting because you can't figure it out. And so going along with this quote, complexity is the enemy of execution, I was just thinking about when things are so difficult, when things are so complex, it prevents us from taking action. It prevents us from executing. And so my goal and everything that I do is to try to make things simple, to try to make things easier for you to understand, to digest, to make this whole game a little bit simpler. And so I thought that was so good. It goes right along with taking imperfect action, because that's how you break through that complexity. Is you launch before you're ready. You take the imperfect action. You break through the complexity into the execution, right? And man, it's so good. So anyways, I could ramble on about stuff I learned from Tony and this quote all day, but hopefully that was helpful to you guys. Let me know what you think about that in the comments. I'd love to hear what you think about that in the chat. And it is time to jump into our final store of the day. Let's see, get that off the screen. Trying to learn, I redid some of my buttons. There we go, got that off the screen. All right, let's jump into our final store of the day from one of our students. We're gonna take a look at conversationtea.com. Conversationtea.com. I think there's a lot of good stuff going for this store here. I left the pop-up up just because I always like to analyze the pop-up when I get a chance to see the pop-up. So this pop-up, they've got on their website to gather emails. It's got first name and email address. It says get an instant 10% off. Take 10% off your first order when you sign up. And the button says unlock discount code. Now this is basically exactly what I teach inside of the Shirt School course, how I teach to do this. So I think that's great. They're doing great with the wording there. I think that's very effective and should build the email list pretty good. But here's the website. So we've got start a conversation and spread awareness. Okay, the first thing I like about this website is I like that it's pretty clear right off the bat, again, what this store is about. It's going to be about cancer awareness, right? And the only thing that to me is a little bit confusing, and I'm not necessarily telling the owner of the store to change it. I think they just need to test it. The one thing that is a little bit confusing is all the different types of cancer awareness that are going on here. I see some yellow, I see some pink, I see some gray. So there's kind of a lot. In my opinion, I think maybe it would have been better just to pick one type of cancer to bring awareness to. Might have been a little bit better, because then you narrow it down a little bit further and you can make it a little simpler. But I think that it just needs to be tested. I'm curious to know how this store is doing, because I think there's a lot of good stuff going on here, a lot of really interesting designs. Everything seems to be pretty cohesive. So when you go up here to catalog, you see the first option they've got is the different types of cancer. I like that here because, again, it's kind of like step one, click this. Step one, step two, click this. So it leads you down the path. So I like that. If it's childhood cancer, I can click here, breast cancer, click here, brain cancer, click here, autism, click here. So let's click on childhood cancer and let's see what we've got going on here. So everything is kind of, yellow, white, that kind of thing. Now, one thing I've noticed about the designs that I think that this store owner should consider changing is I noticed that all the designs look like they have a drop shadow around them. And we need to get rid of that drop shadow. I don't know that that's going to look very good when it's actually printed. It might look okay. I'm not 100% sure. Can't really say because with direct to garment, it can print that kind of shadow. But I don't know how that drop shadow around the letters are going to print. It's something you could test or you could just get rid of it. I would probably opt to just get rid of the drop shadow on all of these designs. I don't know that it really helps or adds to the design. It might just actually make it look a little bit worse. So I'm not sure about the drop shadow. Somebody mentioned in the comments too, which I didn't quite catch, but Jeff said, not sure why autism is a part of cancer awareness. Yeah, that's a great point, right? Everything here seems to be cancer focused, but then we've got autism, and I didn't really catch that. And so that's another, I'm glad that you brought that up. There might just be a little bit too much going on here, and we might want to just narrow down to one type of cancer that we really want to bring awareness to, like breast cancer or childhood or whatever the case may be. The other thing is I was looking through just the items. I went over here to brain cancer awareness. Now, excuse my ignorance, but I'm assuming that the brain cancer awareness colors are like a gray and black, I assume. But I just don't love these color schemes. I think that these designs on the brain cancer awareness are pretty rough, mainly just from the color scheme. And then also, again, it looks like these all have these kind of like drop shadows around them. And I just don't know how that's going to look when printed out, especially when you're doing black on black or black on these dark colors. My guess is that when these are printed and the customer actually receives them, they might look pretty rough. The print might look pretty bad because this just doesn't look like a color scheme that's really going to work. So that's going to be a big one that I think that this person should definitely take a look at. In general, guys, when you're designing your t-shirt designs, I know drop shadow can help with a lot of things, but I would recommend not putting drop shadows on your t-shirt designs. That generally doesn't look good, especially with the printing method and all that kind of stuff. I would get rid of the drop shadows. So let's go to a product page and let's see what we got here. So let's just click on this first one. All right. So one thing that I like that I always teach is to add all of your reviews on all of your products. And this person is doing that really good here. We've got 4 reviews, and I imagine these are probably reviews that were for different shirts, but they've added them in to this product. There seems to be a lot kind of going on here on the product page. Now, so it looks a little confusing. One thing that I'm going to be honest, I don't love it, but I don't know that there's a better way to do it, is this thing right here. You shop, we give, your purchase of this product donates $7.19 to support National Breast Cancer Foundation Incorporated. So there are apps out here on the Shopify App Store that allow you to give your customer the option to donate to different charities. And I've seen these on a couple of different websites. I like the idea behind it. I just don't know if it's very well executed because I think that it reduces conversion rate and it just makes it a little more difficult on the buying process, having to give a portion and pick which foundation you want to give to. So I'm not sure there's much you can do there, but I just don't love it. I'd love to see some more photos here of the product, like maybe 2 more photos of it being worn on a person. I love that this person has written a product description and not just kept the stock product description. We look at the sizing chart. We've got that there. That's good. Key features. I think that's okay. Although I think that these are, rib knit collar with seam. People probably don't care about that kind of stuff. So, it might need to be adjusted a little bit with some better benefits versus features, right? We got refund policy here. So I think pretty good job overall on this area. I'm interested to see how this would look on mobile. I like that the add to cart button is bright and pink. I think that that's great. Honestly, I don't mind where the buy one, get one free is. I think it's okay. I think that I'm kind of feeling what's going on here because I think that there has been some care and some thought to the layout of this page. I think that it's very easy for a page with this much stuff on it to look pretty jumbled and pretty confusing, but I don't necessarily get that vibe from this page, and I'm kind of just going off instinct here. I think it's kind of working. It's kind of working just where everything is at. But again, it's more important, guys, that your website looks good on mobile. So make sure that you're testing this stuff on mobile. Make sure that you're looking at it and making adjustments for mobile and not just for desktop. So, you know, I like what's going on here. I think there could be a few adjustments to be made. This font, I think, is okay. It's not too bad. There are some fonts that are a little bit hard to read. The biggest thing here on the product page and kind of the website overall, yeah, Dodd said fonts on product pages are too fancy. Yeah, I mean, it's debatable. It might be a little bit too fancy, but I still think it's pretty easily readable. I would add a couple more photos here. I would really consider getting rid of the drop shadow on these designs. So you may have to redo quite a bit of your designs, but the drop shadow, I'm just not a big fan of on t-shirt designs. And those would probably be the biggest things that I think need to be kind of worked on here. But what I think about this store is I think that there are some things that could be simplified about it. We talked about maybe removing autism, maybe going all in on one type of cancer, simplifying it a little bit. And guys, one thing to note is, you know, it's better in the beginning to start very narrow and then expand as you go. Okay. It's a good idea. So like for this person, maybe going all in on breast cancer to start and see if that works, and then expanding out as you grow is usually a better option than just going like all crazy to begin. So, you know, I would start with one for sure. And any of these types of cancer that they've got here are big enough to be able to scale this up to millions of dollars. So we really don't need all of these different things. And it just kind of adds again to that confusion and the complexity of everything. So, you know, that would be my biggest advice. There's a few things that need to be updated there. But the last thing I'd say about this store is it just needs to be tested, right? Everything kind of has to be tested. Another thing that was said last week, actually from Russell Brunson, that really stuck with me too, that I've been mentioning a lot is we've got to let people vote with their credit card. Let people vote with their credit card, right? So for this store here that we're looking at, and maybe a lot of you guys' store, you know, you can make all the tweaks, try to get everything perfect, which, you know, we don't need everything. We want to take imperfect action. But try to get everything as good as you can, right? And we can just keep tweaking and keep tweaking. But at the end of the day, customers have to vote with their credit card, right? They're either going to pay the money or they're not going to pay the money. And so a lot of you guys just need to go test. You need to get traffic to your website. You need to get eyes on your products and your offers to know if they're good or not, right? And so all of these things that we talked about today, they all can contribute to higher conversion rates and higher sales. But at the end of the day, we've got to get people voting with their credit card. All right, guys, as we're wrapping up today, I do want to tell you, I want to mention again that the Add to Cart Blueprint is available for you guys. If anybody, any of you guys that would like to learn more really about what we talk about on the Shirt School live show, how to optimize our website, how to get high quality photos, how to write engaging and converting product description, how to design our product pages, how to get social proof even if you don't have sales. All of these kind of things are taught inside of the Add to Cart Blueprint. It's a measly $37. So if you want to grab the Add to Cart Blueprint, a ton of you guys have already signed up, and I'm so grateful for that. I hope that you guys have been enjoying it. Jeff commented in and says, love Add to Cart Blueprint, great value. I love that. I love hearing from you guys. I know a lot of you guys have picked up the Add to Cart Blueprint. But if you would like to be a part of this and you have not picked it up yet, all you have to do is go over to kerryegler.com/ATC. It's $37. You'll get a ton of value out of it. And in addition to what we just talked about, there is a ton of bonuses. And I'm going to go over those with you real quick as we wrap up over on the sign-up page, kerryegler.com/ATC. You go down here, you get 4 workshops included with the Add to Cart Blueprint. Teach you how to write engaging product descriptions, get your pricing right, get high-end photos without hiring a photographer and all that kind of stuff, get social proof even if you don't have sales. But then in addition to that, you get 4 incredible bonuses. You get the branding cheat sheet, you get the Funnel Fixer Upper worksheet. The product page upgrade case study is really cool because you get to see me go in and upgrade a product page like right in front of you. It's about 50 minutes long. So I go really in depth explaining everything that I would do. And you can actually just see me do it and just kind of copy what I'm doing. And then you also get the PDF action guides for all 4 of the workshops so that you can grab the most important points and kind of follow along. So there's a lot of stuff in here for 37 bucks. Highly recommend that you guys go check it out if you have not already. And that is what we got for you today. It's been great hanging out with you. I hope to see you next Friday, 2 p.m. Central Time. That's 3 p.m. Eastern, 12 p.m. Pacific. You guys are amazing. Love you guys, and we will talk to you soon. Have a great